Hi friends, welcome to Tech Blog. Myself Subrato, and today we are going to configure Apache Virtual Host on Ubuntu. So before going to actual process, let me explain you what is virtual host and its usage. Well, the term virtual host refers to the practice of running more than one website such as company1.example.com and company2.example.com and so on within a single machine. Virtual host can be IP based, meaning that you have a different IP address for every website, or name based, meaning that you have multiple names running on a same IP address. So the fact is that they are running on a same physical server, but it is not apparent to the end users. Means company 1 doesn't have access over company 2's file and whatever inside going on. Thus, it's a secure and reliable. In real world, we often call this method as shared web hosting. The price for shared web hosting is much lesser than a dedicated web server because many customers can be hosted on a single server. It is also very common for a single entity who want to use multiple names on the same machine so that the names can be reflected under one umbrella. Let's go and see how to install and configure Apache Virtual Host on Ubuntu. So I am going to log in into my system. I am using Ubuntu 20.04 LTS for this experiment. It also applicable for 16.04 and higher version. So I'm gonna jump over my launcher icon here and type around terminal, and we are going to open it up. First thing is first, do update your package list. Go ahead and type sudo apt update. And it's going on for update. After updating package list, you need to be installed Apache into your system. We are not going to install PHP or MySQL right now. We only focusing on Apache. You could check description section below for LAMP installation tutorial. So let's move and type sudo apt install apache 2 and hit enter key. After installing Apache, you could check it perfectly running or not by using service command. Just type service apache 2 status. Yep, my Apache server is running. Well, before going to further steps, I want to show you my home directory here. For that, I have to jump over my file explorer and then open the other locations. And from there, open home directory. And there you could see I have only one directory named TechBlog. And this is my user's home directory. Why I am showing this to you? Because it's always good practice to create an individual user for each virtual host to jail their content and properties inside their home directory. And as an admin, you could manage permissions of your all virtual hosts and users in an easy manner and structured way. Now we are going to create two users for this experiment. One is user A and another is user B. So let's go and type sudo user add -m user A and hit enter. Here the flag aim will create the user's home directory if it does not exist. and similarly create the user B. Here you could see in file browser we created both of our users and their home directory. You could set those user access password later on using passwd command. For now, leave this matter and create a directory named public_html inside each user's directory. Go ahead and type sudo mkdir/home/user/public_html and then hit enter key. And similarly do the same for user B. Here you could see now we had public HTML directory under each user's directory. Now you need to put some markup text inside the public HTML to identify your virtual host. So we are gonna create an index.html file under public_html directory. Go ahead and type sudo nano/home/user/a/public_html/index.html and put this markup text and save this file. And similarly do the same for user B. Now each user had their index file ready to serve over Apache. Now it's time to create virtual host config file for each user. Go ahead and type sudo nano/etc/apache2/site-available and then name your vhost config file. I'm gonna set it abc.conf. So now basically you need to tell Apache about your vhost configuration. Actually, these are called tags and directives. I actually going to create virtual host tag first. Go ahead and type under angle braces virtual host *:80. Here asterisk means it will apply to any IP address on port 80. You could write it as *:*. That means it will apply any IP address on any port that Apache is currently listening. You need to close each tag by putting \v before it. Now put server admin directives. I am gonna set this abc@abc.com. It's actually email address or URL of this particular vhost admin. But apparently this functionalities of Apache has been deprecated, but you can get this value through PHP using this variable $_server and then server admin. This directive useful when you want to send your contact to your end user whenever get some error while accessing your site. Like some critical issue found, contact to your server administrator abc@abc.com, like that. Next you have to set server name directives. Actually, server name is used to uniquely identify a virtual host when you are using name-based virtual host. Next, you can set server aliases directives. If you want to set an alternative name for your host like www.abc.com or anything else, you can. Next is very important, document root directives. This directive sets the directory from which Apache will serve the file for your vhost, means absolute path for your website or application directory. Now we are going to create directory tag, so open and close the tag first, and under this tag we are using options directive with indexes. Actually, option directives control specific directory features. That means if you are trying to access a directory that doesn't have a directory index such as index.php or index.html, the content of the directory will be shown like this. And if indexes are active, this might cause of security issue if you have sensitive information in this directory. You could disable this by putting -sign before the word indexes or removing the keyword. And follow symlink allow Apache to use symbolic links. This can improve your performance but also can be a security issue too. It's always best practice to disable all these stuffs in production server or use .htaccess file to handle your directory security. Now use another directive, allow override. I am gonna set it none for now because I am not using htaccess file as it's a simple test environment and there is no need to this. Actually, if you set this directive to all, then it allows your htaccess file to override every configuration and parameters set in Apache configuration. Next is required directive. I am gonna set it all granted. That means it allows connection from any network. Using this directive, you could restrict directory access from any specific IP or IP range, or you can integrate with LDAP authentication. And finally, set Apache log file for error and access logs, where every error and access log will trigger. So roughly, this is a standard virtual host structure which I made here, and my recommendation is first understand your needs and then place your configuration. Do not blindly copy paste from any tutorial in your production server. This can bring disaster anytime. You could learn more about directives and vhost examples at Apache documentation. Just open up a browser and search for sample vhost configuration and open up the documentation. Here you could see lots of examples. I am going to copy this entire configuration for creating next virtual host. Though you could make multiple vhosts in a same file, but we are gonna separate them in individual file. Probably you could have a question in your mind, why? Well, let's consider you have lots of vhost client and you have to manage their individual needs like maintenance, change configuration, start and stop the vhost without affecting others and maintain zero downtime. You need to separate them so that you could handle all your vhosts in a seamless way. So we are gonna create another vhost configuration for xyz.com and paste the line and do change necessary parameters. One thing I forget to mention in directory tag is my application path. So my path is home/user_b/public HTML. And I have to put the same for user A also. So after all this stuff, you need to enable your site. Go ahead and type sudo a2n site, then your vhost configuration name. And do the same for xyz.com. And finally, restart the Apache. Type system control restart Apache 2. Now one last thing you needed is that a local DNS resolver. As we are in a local environment, so edit your host file using nano editor and add a local DNS record for each host. And if you are in a production environment, then point your public IP at your DNS manager. Finally, test your settings. Go ahead and open up a web browser and open up a tab aside, type xyz.com, and you could see the web page serving from XYZ Vhost. Also open up another tab aside and type abc.com, and this page serving from ABC Vhost. Well, before ending this video, you could follow 7 best practices for Apache security. Is that first, keep your Apache up to date with latest release and patches. Second, disable directory listing. Third, disable unnecessary modules. Fourth, turn off unnecessary services. Fifth, ensure that Apache server info is disabled. Sixth, disable the trace HTTP request. Seventh, distribute the ownership and don't run Apache as a root. Hope this video helpful to you. Please do like and share this video. Leave comment if you have any question. Also click on subscribe button to encourage us and get latest update. Thank you.